और इसके साथ ladies and gentlemen, the most awaited moment has come at Kalam Youth Leadership Conference 2021, and the moment is all about to listen to our chief guest, Honorable Dr. V. Ponraj sir, the former scientific advisor of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, is an ADA scientist and technical advisor to late His Excellency, the 11th President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He has co-authored the book Manifesto for Change along with Dr. Kalam in the year 2014. Mr. Ponraj has also taken the responsibility of completing the Tamil book, Pulyali, Thandinal, which targets the vision for the development of Tamil Nadu state. And Dr. Kalam and Ponraj has been co-authoring while the former was alive. Ponraj has also anchored the editorial team of the Billion Bits e-paper. So I would request to Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. V. Ponraj, to address the wonderful conference. We all are waiting for you, sir, at Kalam Youth Leadership Conference 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, the most awaited moment, once again, I must say, has come, and the moment is all about to listen to our chief guest, Honorable Dr. V. Ponraj. So, the former scientific advisor of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is an ADA scientist and technical advisor to late His Excellency, the 11th President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He has co-authored the book Manifesto for Change along with Dr. Kalam in year 2014. So I would request to our honorable chief guest, Dr. V. Ponraj, to address the wonderful conference. We all are waiting for you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Munna Kumar, and I'm very nice to see you. And I'm very happy that you have connected me and Professor Dr. Arun Tiwari after a long time. Very happy to see Dr. Arun Tiwari Saab now, and certainly it is a great occasion to remember and see Professor Arun Tiwari. When Professor Arun Tiwari is with you, I could see Dr. Kalam's blessings are with you, because he is the one who brought the Wings of Fire, and he has co-authored many books, and he has captured the imagination and the thought of Dr. Kalam, and he has presented to the younger generation of India. And it is great that Professor Arun Tiwari has addressed and with all of you in your own language, Hindi, and also interacted with you. And thank you, sir. And Professor Arun Tiwari, sir, Vanakkam, sir. How are you? How is family members? This after a long time we are meeting. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So certainly this Kalam Youth Leadership Conference 2021, Munna Kumar, when he first contacted me, I thought he's a young and very inspired youth by Dr. Kalam. But he is consistently creating leaders, consistently working towards realizing the vision of Dr. Kalam in every sphere of life. The kind of the agenda that he has created really impressed me, and the kind of the guest speakers, the kind of the professionals that he has invited to address the youth and to share the knowledge will certainly empower the vision of Dr. Kalam in every minds of the youth. And my greetings to Munna Kumar for conducting such a wonderful youth leadership conference. And certainly my greetings to the guest speaker, Professor Dr. Arun Tiwari, Dr. Archana Bhattacharya, guest of honor, and Dr. Ram Bhuj, the guest speaker, and Mr. Asutosh Kumar and Mr. K. Srinivasan. All of you, my greetings to all of you for your wonderful session. And certainly I am very happy. On the 6th anniversary is going to be tomorrow, Dr. Kalam's 6th anniversary. And certainly everywhere, the seeds that he has sown in the minds of the youth, the 64, around he has met around more than 2 crore youth and the students across the country. There is no professor, no teacher in the world has taught such a kind of a vision to the vision for the nation among the youth and the students. This is Dr. Kalam's singular achievement. And certainly today, when I see number of leaders are joining together, when I see number of great people, professors, and then academicians, and then industrialists, and then Professor Tiwari, and everybody is addressing, is continue Dr. Kalam's speech are continue to flourish, continue to create a great impact in the minds of the youth. Today, when India is facing a biowar kind of a situation due to Corona, we are also witnessing a cyber warfare due to Pegasus software. So what Dr. Kalam predicted in 2000, here afterwards, in next 20 years down the line, there will be no electronic warfare, there will be no digital warfare, there will be no atomic warfare. It is going to be a cyber warfare and bio warfare. This is what Dr. Kalam predicted. And to face these two kind of a warfare, which is going to destroy the human as well as the economical assets, we need to prepare ourselves, and India need to be prepared. India need to face such a challenge. India, in next 20 years down the line, India should become an economically empowered nation, a knowledge superpower, a nation with where there is no poverty. So these are the predictions. Not only is just not a prediction, it is a scientific calculation. It is a scientific policy what Dr. Kalam has delivered. So such a kind of a vision when Dr. Kalam gave, and also he has proved himself that anything is possible in this country. When he has proved it is possible, when you, as an Indian, if you all join together, if you all work together in a mission mode, if you have a belief that we can achieve, small aim is a crime. This is what Dr. Kalam used to quote. If you have a greater aim, if you have a confidence, we have a culture of excellence. We work together, if you work hard and acquire the knowledge continuously, certainly we can win. If I can win, then we can win. If we can win, India will win. This is the kind of the mantra that Dr. Kalam has given to the youth. Not only simply a mantra he has given, but he has given the policies. He has given the 2020, India 2020. He has given a provision, a providing urban amenities in rural area, and that is going to bring a self-reliant rural India, where there is 70% of the population lives in 60%. Kalam has given. He has given the vision, energy independence will be achieved by 2030. He has given a vision, naval precision 2050. How to harvest the solar space for 24/7 from the sun by solar satellites. He has given the vision of biofuel vision. 60 million tons of biofuel can be produced in India. It is kind of greater vision in our rivers, smart water is great vision. So he has given a greater vision, not only simply a statement he has given. We all work together. Professor Arvind Tiwari is with us to work together. We all work together to evolve a vision, to evolve a plan, a workable plan. It is not a simple a policy which is kind of which can be written down and cannot be implemented. A workable plan, a workable policy, a workable vision has been given by Dr. Kalam. That is why today Dr. Kalam is remembered, not only in India but everywhere. When Dr. Kalam has presented Energy Independence Vision 2030 to George Bush, the former president of USA, George Bush, simply told President, I was amazed to see your vision. Really, certainly India will become a developed country. India will become energy independent nation by 2030 as envisioned by you. I am fully confident that you will be able to achieve it. So this is the kind of the confidence that even the foreign country leaders have reports on Dr. Kalam's vision. So certainly, these are the kind of vision which empowers the youth. So when Dr. Kalam has given a project to African Union, when he has envisioned, hello, can you hear me? I think some
Yes,
noise is
yes.
coming. You can ask others to mute it.
पर पुश नहीं करना है।
Okay.
नहीं वो तो उन्होंने डॉक्यूमेंट भेज दिया ना, वो तो जो चाहते हैं वो करना है।
So others can mute. So dear friends, why such a vision is given? The workable vision is given by Dr. Kalam. That means he believed that the youth of the nation, if they are empowered and if they become the leaders, the visionary leaders, then certainly this is possible. So what are the challenges to become the visionary leader? That is the question, right? If every one of you, as a student, or as a lecturer, or as a professor, or as an IAS, IPS officer, or as an industrialist, or as a farmer, or as a civil servant, or as a politician, or a political leader, there is a difference between politician and political leader, or as a social worker, everybody has a responsibility if they practice a culture of excellence, if they have a great aim, and if they acquire the knowledge continuously and the domain what they chose, and they work hard and they defeat the problem and succeed. If they have these qualities, certainly it is the implementable vision. And a leader, what he envisioned, a leader should become, what are the qualities of the leader? How a leader can be evolved? A leader should have a vision. A leader should have a passion to transform the vision into mission. A leader should walk into an unexplored path. A leader should practice transparency in each and every action. A leader should have a courage in taking decisions. A leader should practice, should celebrate the success of the team member and own the responsibility of the failure. A leader should defeat the problem and succeed. A leader should work with integrity and succeed with integrity. If anybody, whatever may be the profession you have, if you acquire these qualities, if you develop these qualities within you, then certainly whatever the field of knowledge that you choose, whatever the field of work that you develop, and certainly you will be in a position to win. Dear friends, why you need to win? Why youth have to become leaders? Because if you think the sustainable development goals set by the United Nations, when Dr. Kalam was the president, it was called Millennium Development Goals, MDG. Later it has been converted into Sustainable Development Goals. 17 goals, 16 goals and 17th goal is the kind of a integrated working together group formation. So 16 goals plus 17. These 17 goals, if a developing nation has to achieve by 2030, is a greater task before us. But when Dr. Kalam visited Africa, he has envisioned the Millennium Development Goals at that time to was set for Africa. How do we fulfill the Millennium Development Goals of Africa? He has envisioned a project and he asked me to architect the project. It is called the Pan-African Network. And that project is $125 million. At that time, it was 550 crore project. Today, it has empowered more than 50,000 students of Africa, and it has given a healthcare, a quality healthcare through telemedicine for more than 1 lakh Africans, and also empowered more than 10,000 doctors from India, from Indian universities, from Indian hospitals, superspecialty hospitals. So this kind of a single network, which is architected by me as per the visionary leadership given by Dr. Kalam and the support given by Dr. Kalam, has been achieved a innovation award. It's called European Union Helms Innovation Award for Government of India in 2010. Dear friends, when we are able to fulfill the Millennium Development Goals of Africa, why not we will be able to implement such a kind of a quality of education, quality of healthcare, and quality of good governance, so that the water, the energy, the environment, the zero hunger, there is no poverty, can be achieved in India. Certainly we can achieve it in India. What we need is a great leadership at the helm of the affairs, whether at the state or the central or any institution for that matter. It is a question of the leadership what you provide. Dear friends, it is the kind of the vision that we carry. It is a kind of the passion that we carry. It is a kind of the mission that we implemented. Certainly, dear friends, we have great challenge in front of us. We have a challenge of Corona, COVID, wave 1, wave 2, then the third wave is going to come. We have an economical problem. So the economical status of our country is going down. It is in the negative growth. How do we bring it to the positive growth? We have to, now it is minus 7.5% GDP growth rate. It is a downward trend. We need to work for more than 15 points to reach plus 7.7 plus. So there is a great challenge in front of us. We have 120 lakh crore debt in India. Every state government has a debt. And also, we are continuously paying the bill for importing the petroleum products. We are paying around more than 9 lakh crore for importing the petroleum products. And our foreign exchange currency is only around $600 billion, whereas the China's foreign exchange currency is $3 trillion. When the foreign exchange currency of China is 2 times less during 1980s, but it is 6 times high today as on 2021. In 2014, when the Prime Minister Modi took the charge, he has assured the people that the foreign dependency, the import dependency on the oil sector is around 77%. He said we will bring down to 66%, 10% by 2019. Today, our import dependency is around 84%. It has increased. So these are the challenges we are facing today. Prime Minister announced a self-reliant nation, but until unless India, Government of India, is allotting is 3% of the GDP to research and development and innovation, it is very, very difficult to realize a self-reliant nation of India. Until unless we put our major effort in research and development and innovation and filing the patents and converting the patents into technology and converting the patent into a business and converting the patent into a business in import substitution items, it is very, very difficult to achieve it. So dear friends, until unless India focuses on agriculture, a smart agriculture what Dr. Kalam envisioned. Dr. Kalam and myself visited the Epcot laboratory in US Orlando in 2009 during our search in creating a waterless, a soilless, a pesticideless, a organic and natural agriculture growth. We found a biotechnology laboratory which is working on this area, and we went and visited, and we brought a lab-to-lab collaboration between Epcot and IARI, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, and other agriculture universities, 12 agriculture universities in the country. But how far it has taken shape, we do not know. We need organic food, but organic food is not profitable to farmers. So what we need to bring technology, we need to bring science, we need to bring engineering, we need to bring the artificial intelligence, we need to bring the robotics, we need to bring the Internet of Things, we need to bring the blockchain technology. So all these technology, deep technologies, if you blend a youth who completes a degree, a youth who completes engineering can work in the farm field and create a smart agriculture, and that is going to feed the entire world. By 2050, the world is going to become 9 billion population, and certainly only 2 nations can feed the world with the 9 billion population. One is China and another is India. China has connected Yangtze River between north and south, and they have achieved in 10 years down the line. But India is thinking of connecting rivers. In Bihar, when Mr. Nitish Kumar was the chief minister, when Dr. Kalam has given a smart waterways grid mission, we have created a Bihar Water Management Corporation. Nitish Kumar was created, and he has sent the chief secretary and the water secretary to Delhi, and we had a discussion at Dr. Kalam's office in 10 Rajaji Marg, and the Bihar Water Management Corporation has been created to create smart waterways grid to harness the Ganges, to harness the flooding of water every year the Bihar is faced. Dr. Kalam used to say, you have great water resource. Nitish Kumar used to say, we have the resource, but we are left with nothing because of the flood. He used to jokingly say. So at that time, Dr. Kalam has given the vision called Bihar Waterways, Smart Waterways Grid Vision. Dr. Kalam has created Tamil Nadu Waterways, Smart Waterways Grid Mission. For these 2 waterways grid mission, when we visited Canada and presented the vision to the Canadian government was interested, and they came and assured Dr. Kalam that as a seed money, we will give $500 million for implementing the Bihar Water Management Smart Waterways Grid and Tamil Nadu Waterways Grid. We have written to, at that time, the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and we have written to the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, and we have written to the Chief Minister at that time, Mr. Kalaignar Karunanidhi in Tamil Nadu. But immediately, Nitish Kumar acted. But after that, what happened to the project? He has worked hard and he has created everything. He submitted a project, but it has never taken off due to the various political and other issues, I think so. So, good projects, good schemes, good vision is paralyzed by the political disturbance, by the political confusion, by the political fiasco. So, this is where we need a leadership quality. This is where we need to have a great leaders should emanate from the youth to implement the vision of Dr. Kalam. If that would have been implemented when we were working on those vision, certainly now it is more than 10 years over. If that project would have taken shape today, it would have been at least half of the project would have got completed, and millions of the youth in Bihar would have got employment. Whatever may be, whether it is engineering, whether in the arts and science, whatever may be the profession they would have taken, they would have got a greater opportunity to work in the Bihar Smart Waterways Grid Mission to harness the floodwater and to utilize for the development of the Bihar agriculture, irrigation, navigation, and the power generation. A great project which we have submitted to the, we have worked and submitted to the Nitish Kumar, and such a kind of the vision is pending, which is not taken off due to the lack of political will among the political leaders and the center-state relations, and many other political issues have been establishing the greater vision. So, dear friends, whatever happened has happened, but we need to focus on the many missions whatever Dr. Kalam has given, and only India in such a situation, economical downfall, corona aftermath, the millions of migrant workers are migrating to other states for employment, and the youth who studied in colleges not getting employment for the kind of the study what they have deserved. So these are the major problems. The per capita income has to be at least 10 lakhs per youth per year. If we achieve that kind of a per capita income to 10 lakhs, then only we can say we are a developed nation. Until unless we empower the youth with the socio-political and economical justice, it is very, very difficult to bring equality, to fill the gap between the haves and have-nots, to fill the gap between the poor and the rich, to fill the gap between the socially and economically, socially and educationally backward, to uplift the poor. So the vision is clear. When Dr. Kalam has given the Vision 2020 in 1998, if our leaders, both at the central as well as the state government leaders, have taken this vision as their own political party vision, then India would have become a developed country by this time now. And we could have faced the corona effectively like a developed countries who have allotted 3% of the GDP for the research and development. Certainly, India is very, very low in allotting the budget for R&D, research and development. India's budget allocation for research and development and innovation is only 0.45%, whereas Japan, South Korea, and other countries, the kind of the budget is 4% of their GDP. And certainly, in such a kind of a scenario, it is very, very difficult to allot such a kind of the amount unless I have suggested even to the Prime Minister, if we have to lift our Indian economy from the downfall which is created due to corona, the downfall it has created due to demonetization, the downfall it has created due to the GST implementation, the process of implementing GST has affected millions of MSME sector, demonetization affected millions of informal sector, and the corona has affected the entire country. Unless we generate 50 lakh crore, it is very, very, and implement and invest in the infrastructure development, in water, in energy, in environment, in the road, in the industrial sector, in the Pura, that is providing urban amenities in rural area, in the self-reliant, in providing employment opportunity in the rural area. By implementing 50 lakh crore investment, it is very, very difficult to lift our economy. So I have suggested even we have great high net worth individuals who have amazed the wealth by their own entrepreneurship, by their own industrial activity, the corporates. We have more than 8 lakh crore people are the high net worth individuals. The 8 lakh crore people out of 125 crore, 8 lakh people, around 125 crore people have more than 900 lakh crore as their asset net worth. If they invest 5% of their asset value in India's economical development, and certainly India can become an economically empowered nation. India will become a poverty-free nation. India will emerge a nation which is equivalent to that of a developed country across the world in next 10 years down the line. So we have a great scope, but we should not lose confidence. We should not lose hope by assessing the present challenges in the country. We should have a great hope. We should work whatever the area of the field of expertise that we have. We have to empower ourselves with a greater vision. We have to overcome all the distractions that we are coming through. And anybody who have a vision can certainly, anybody who have a vision will never succumb to any diversion due to social media, due to games, due to any other diversions, whatever they come across. No one can succumb to diversions if we have a vision. So it is a question of a vision set in each and every one of you. The leadership to implement the vision, as I have told you, Dr. Kalam has given the qualities of the leadership. Certainly, dear friends, if you adopt the visions and the qualities of the leadership Dr. Kalam has given, we can be the harbinger for growth. We can be the engines of growth for India. We will be the engines for growth for India, and we will be the transformer of India. And certainly, we will achieve a greater height. We will realize the vision of Dr. Kalam, to make India as a developed country, to make India as a superpower, knowledge superpower. And in this process, the Youth Foundation, the Youth Leadership Conference organized by Co-op Foundation will become one of the critical role, they will play a critical role in empowering the leaders who joined today. My greetings and congratulations to each and every one of you. My greetings to Dr. Munna Kumar for a continuous and a sustained effort in spreading the vision of Dr. Kalam among the youth. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I must say, ये जो बातें हैं हमारे तमाम डेलीगेट्स के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. ये बातें उन सभी को प्रेरित करेगी. The whole masses will definitely motivate the delegates. और यहाँ पे मैं कुछ सवाल लेना चाहूँगा बिकॉज आप बहुत क्लोज रहे हैं कलाम साहब से, और जितने भी खास तौर पे इस वक्त सेशन में हमारे साथ एंथुजियास्टिक यूथ इस वक्त कलाम साहब के जिस रोड मैप पे चलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, अगर उनके जहन में कोई सवाल हो तो प्लीज आप जरूर हमें इन्फॉर्म करें और सवाल यहाँ पे सीधा लेंगे. और अगर आप चाहें तो इशारा करके भी आप हमें इंडिकेट कर सकते हैं कि क्या कुछ सवाल है, और आपके सवाल पे हमारी निगाहें हैं. आप चैट बॉक्स के जरिए भी हमें लिख सकते हैं. और हालांकि मैसेज कहीं ना कहीं आना शुरू हो गया है कि एक पावरफुल मैसेज रहा सर के जरिए. हालांकि आज के संबोधन पे हम सब की निगाहें थी. वी ऑल वर वेटिंग फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर एड्रेसेस एंड फाइनली हम सब ने सुना. हम सब के लिए बहुत बहुत एक मोटिवेशनल सेशन रहा अब तक के. अगर मैं इवेंट का अगर जिक्र करूं तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारी निगाहें थी कि जो सबसे क्लोज हैं कलाम साहब के उन तक हम चले और उनसे बातचीत करें. तो जैसा कि मुझे इंडिकेशन मिल रहा है कुछ लोग सवाल लेना चाह रहे हैं यहाँ पे. मुन्ना सर, अगर कोई सवाल अगर आ गया हो तो सीधे सवाल ले लेते हैं, और अगर सवाल अगर नहीं आ रहा है तो चलिए मैं सर आपसे एक सवाल लेना चाहूंगा. जिस तरीके से हम देख रहे हैं कि आज की जो युवा एक जो टीम कह ले या फिर जो पॉलिटिकल टोन में कन्वर्ट हो रही है, युवा की एक हुजूम कह ले, जो एक भीड़ कह ले, अगर उन युवाओं को अगर आज हमें कहना पड़े कुछ कि साहब आप कलाम साहब के मैसेज को लेकर पॉलिटिकल करियर आप बिल्डअप कीजिए, तो क्या संदेश होगा कलाम साहब के अकॉर्डिंग सर? As you know, we are looking, the big crowd of youths are, just turning into political career. So I just want to understand what are the paths of Kalam Sahab so that, they can just shape in better way.
See, Dr. Kalam used to ask one question to all the students whenever he addresses students, that who want to become a political leader? He used to ask, I don't want a politician. I want a political leader. There is a difference between a politician and a political leader. A politician is what we see today, who amass wealth by by achieving a position. But a political leader is a leader who can work for the nation and empower the people and work for making a country, a state proud. Okay, so we need to create such a leader among the youth, and certainly a youth should become participate in the political process once he achieves a financial independence. Okay, so if you do not have a financial independence and if you enter into politics, then your mind will always will take you to the current politician. So we do not need such a politician to amass wealth by joining the politics, but we need a political leader. Once you achieve a kind of a financial independence by your knowledge, by your career, by your entrepreneurship, by your sheer wealth of creativity, innovation, you can earn money first, a legal way. You can become a financial independent leader first. Once you become a financial independent leader, then till the time you can support those who are financially independent and those who have a passion to serve the people, those who are practicing the integrity as their core competence in politics. You can choose those kind of a leader, and once you become a financial independent person, then you should enter into politics and then you should become a kind of a Panchayat board president and a municipal chairman, a corporation mayor, or a MLA, or a MP, or a minister, or a CM, or a prime minister. Okay, you have to have such a kind of a vision. Then only you can change the country. See, only if you enter into politics, you can change the country. You can transform the country. So what we need a youth with awareness, a youth with vision, a youth with a kind of a creative knowledge, a youth with a passion to serve the society, a youth with the compassion, a youth with who can understand the problems of the common man, a youth who can understand the problems of the farmer and the workers. Certainly, we need a great leaders who can enter into politics and then transform in every way. The politics is a place where we can transform. Politics is not a place where we amass wealth. Politics is not a place where you come to the power by dividing the people in the name of the caste, religion, and language or a race. No, politics is one who can create. There are two ways you can inspire the people. Two ways you can get the support of the people. One is inspiring the people. Another one is threatening the people. Okay, if you threaten the people by dividing the people in the name of caste, in the name of religion, in the name of any other means, then you can get votes. But those leaders will never be useful to the country as an overall economic development. Socio-economical political justice is what today is needed. There are many states who do not have social justice. There are many states who have not achieved economical justice. There are many states who have not achieved political justice. So we have to have three-pronged approach to achieve social, economical, political justice for everyone in an inclusive growth, in a sustainable developmental approach is what needed. This is what Dr. Kalam has practiced. So certainly, as a Kawab Foundation, you have to work, make the youth as a financial independent entrepreneur, make the youth to realize the goal, to realize the vision, to the field, whatever they would like to go. If they want to be IAS, IPS, you help them to become IAS, IPS. You want to become an engineer or doctor or an entrepreneur or any other social worker, you help them to help them to achieve the greater heights. You assist them. And if you once you have that kind of a quality, then help the farmers with the smart agriculture and help the entrepreneurs by empowering them, choosing the import substitution area as a manufacturing technology. Then help them in achieving that greater height. Once they achieve greater height, then they should the people who have the political awareness should enter into politics and change the country. Thank you, friends.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। आई थिंक ये जो सवाल का जवाब था कहीं ना कहीं तमाम लोगों को एक लार्जर पर्सपेक्टिव की ओर ले जाने में बहुत बहुत सपोर्ट करेगी। और इसके साथ अगर कोई सवाल अगर यहाँ पे लेना चाहते हैं तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूंगा, प्लीज अपने सवाल को लें। एनीवन इज रेडी? आई थिंक फिलहाल कोई नहीं है। सो मैं एक छोटा सा यहाँ पे सेगमेंट चाहता हूँ मुन्ना साहब आपके परमिशन से। और सेगमेंट ये कि जैसा कि डॉक्टर अरुण सर भी हमारे बीच हैं, अर्चना भट्टाचार्य जी मैम भी इस वक्त हमारे बीच हैं और डॉक्टर वी पोनराज सर भी हमारे बीच हैं। जब सब लोग एक साथ इस वक्त जुटे हुए हैं, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ एक दो चीज जो इस वक्त सबसे पहले करने की जरूरत है इस देश में, जिससे कि कलाम साहब के कुछ कमी को हम पूरा कर सके। आप लोग अगर आपस में इंटरेक्ट कर ले एक दूसरे से, वो क्या मैसेज है एक दो चीजों को लेकर, मैं जानना चाहता हूं। अरुण सर स्पेशली आपसे, वी पोनराज सर आपसे, अर्चना मैम आपसे।
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are completely audible.
Okay. As an educator, since you have raised this question, as an educator, I personally think the need of the hour is to introduce or to give more emphasis to value education to our young human resources, because they are the future citizens of a country. So in order to save our country from any kind of corruptions which are corroding it, we need to train up the young minds from their childhood, from their home. In fact, the parents are the first teachers, and the parents also need to inculcate true values, and then the duty or the responsibility passes on to the teachers in the schools and the colleges. Once we have that strong foundation of values, I'm sure that the resources that we create will go a long way in building, go a long way in a nation building, and lead to a more stable society, a more stable country, and maybe the world at large. That is from my point of view. Thank you.
डॉक्टर वी पोनराज साहब, मैं आपके पास सीधे चलूंगा। एक तो अगर वो काम जो इस वक्त सबसे पहले करने की जरूरत है, देखिए कई बार योजना के नजरिया से जब हम देखते हैं तो चीजें दिखती है, लेकिन जब लास्ट मैन का जिक्र होता है तो साहब तमाम चीजें होने के बाद भी लास्ट मैन को सुविधाएं नहीं मिल पाती है।
Can you just repeat it in English, please?
Yeah. Most of the time we have seen many facilities is just being facilitated by the governments, right? But when we talk about the last man, when we talk about the common man, they are not getting facility from the government side. So I just want to understand one or two first things that, according to Kalam's perspective, that need to done.
See, if you look at every government, whether say state government or central government, is coming out with many programs, many projects, many schemes to empower the farmers, to the common man, people from the informal sector, a formal sector. There are many schemes are available, but it is not, people are not aware to approach the government, to approach, to avail the loan facility, to avail the government schemes, to empower them. It is very, there is a long gap, and people are not having such a kind of a knowledge. Basically they are not in a position to utilize it. There are many governments who have written the money which is spent allocated for agriculture budget. They have written because unutilized money has been returned back to government. There are many projects that have been not utilized properly. If you look at in 2011, when Dr. Kalam asked me to give a vision for Tamil Nadu, he has sent me to Jayalalitha. At that time he was the opposition leader. I went and gave a vision for Tamil Nadu as per the direction of Dr. Kalam. And out of 50 vision, I gave only one vision I would like to talk to you. That one vision is to provide a collateral-free loan to the new entrepreneurs. I have started the vision of giving 1 crore for any new entrepreneurs who have graduated or who have studied ITI or diploma or a graduate. 1 crore loan for the manufacturing activity, industrial activity, with 25% subsidy. Ms. Jayalalitha Madam has sanctioned the project that is called the NEET scheme. Today, anybody in Tamil Nadu can get 5 crore as a loan with 50 lakh subsidy, with a small investment of 5 lakhs from your side. They can create, they can become an entrepreneur. So far, 3,500 entrepreneurs have been created with 1,750 crore of fund has been given by the bank. That means we create entrepreneurs who can give employment. So what Dr. Kalam has created, you have to create an employer rather than the employment provider, rather than the employment seeker. So the vision of Dr. Kalam has realized if we are able to make the leaders to understand. And certainly there are many projects. If you take a Kayar board, the Kayar board is, the vision of Kayar board is to achieve 10,000 crore turnover in India. So far, the market potential is more than 10,000 crore. So far, 2,500 crore is our export potential in the Kayar board. In the Kayar pit, in the Kayar, more than 225 products we can generate from the Kayar board. They are giving subsidy. from 15 lakh to 50 lakh, you can get subsidy and you can start a business, you can start an industry. It can be MSME. But who is availing the facility? How many knows the potential available in this sector? If you take the agriculture infrastructure fund, which has been allotted by the central government, it is 1 lakh crore fund. So far, they have allotted 10,000 crore. And next 4 years down the line, they will allot 1 lakh crore fund. Every state will get around more than 4,000 crore to 5,000 crore to create agriculture infrastructure, like a godowns, like a silos, like a cold chain, like a logistics. There are many, more than 20 domains have been allotted. You will get 2 crore fund without any collateral, with interest suppression of 3%, with around 50 lakh subsidy, with all the facilities. How many of you know about it? It is a question. So, as a co-op foundation, should identify and these kind of government schemes and match the entrepreneurs who are aspiring to become entrepreneurs and empower them as entrepreneurs and leaders. Okay, that will give them a financial independence. Certainly, you should enter and help them, help the poor people, help the common people, help the youth to become entrepreneurs. And certainly, these kind of government, every government is giving, but there are many criticism. What is to be allotted, what is to be focused, that you keep apart. But government is doing, state government or central governments are doing. But whether it is reaches the people is a major question. So you have to act as a intermediary, not an intermediary. You have to act as a knowledge partner to help them to utilize this kind of an opportunity and to become a self-reliant youth. A self-reliant youth only can create a self-reliant nation. Thank you, friends.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। और ये मैसेज कहीं ना कहीं जितने भी यूथ इस वक्त जुड़ रहे हैं और साथ ही जब कॉप फाउंडेशन के सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म से जब वो बाद में भी इस वीडियो को देखेंगे तो ये मैसेज उन्हें सबसे ज्यादा प्रेरित करेगी। और खासतौर पे जिस सवाल का जिक्र मैंने पॉलिटिकल संदर्भ में लिया, वो बेशक एक पॉलिसी को लेकर वो कदम बढ़ा रहे हैं, लेकिन इस मैसेज के बाद मुझे लगता है कि वो पॉलिसी को एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए, लोगों को अवेयर करने के लिए एक लीडर बनना चाहेंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर आंसरिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन सर। एंड आफ्टर दिस